Welcome back, everyone. For today's video, we are back and we are going to be playing against one of the new bots on the site chess.com. Now, in true fashion and keeping up with the times, chess.com has introduced a new bot, and this, of course, is the New Year's Magnus Bot rated 2882. Now, as I am recording this video today, December 31st, the great year 2025, I do want to wish everyone watching this video a very happy New Year's as we go into 2026. It should be a very exciting time for the chess world and myself. We have the candidates tournament, which will determine who will face off against Gukesh Domaraju for the World Championship. We will have another edition of the Esports World Cup. We have the Speed Chess Championships as well. So there is a lot to look forward to. Now, back to the video. Chess.com has introduced this New Year's Magnus Bot. As with all the bots on the site, at least its strong ones, we are going to test out our luck. So we're going to play against the Magnus Bot. I'm going to start with the white pieces to begin with, and then I might decide to play with the black pieces, and let's see how it goes. Now, I could always try to play these hyper modern setups, but I generally get very bored by doing that. It leads to a lot of closed positions. So I'm going to play the move e4, and let's play something more standard. So we get e5. Let's go knight to f3 here. We get knight c6, and now I'm going to play the move bishop b5, which of course is the classic Ruy Lopez opening. We get a6. Let's go bishop to a4. Magnus plays knight f6. Let's castle here. Bishop e7. Now, in the recently concluded World Blitz Championship, Norbek Abdustorov played the move d3, which is the closed Spanish. Rook to e1 is the other main move. I think in this game, I'm going to play d3 because I'm curious to see if the bot will follow Magnus's own repertoire from the recently concluded tournament, which he won. So we get d6. Let's play... What do I want to play here? a3, c3. Let's play the move a3 here. So I'm going to play a3. We get castles. I'm going to play h3 to stop bishop g4. We get bishop e6. I'm going to trade. I'll go c3 here. All this pretty standard so far, not super exciting. We can get d5. I think I'm going to play queen to e2. Try to take advantage of these double stacked pawns on top of each other. We get queen d6. Very, very logical move, by the way. And now I'm going to play the move b4, trying to take over some space on the queen side. We get a5. Let's go bishop to b2 here, guarding the rook on a1. We get knight to h5. And this is the first moment where I feel like maybe I need to think, because I want to go g3 here, but I'm a little bit worried about my knight being weak. The square, I guess takes, I can take. It feels a little bit loose, but on the other hand, if I don't play g3 and the knight gets to f4, I probably just resign. So let's go g3. Get rook d8. Okay, now, okay, if I go knight d2, d takes e4, d takes e4, queen d3, I can trade and go king g2 maybe. I don't love it. I don't really love my position at all anyway, but let's see. Okay, if I go knight d2, d takes e4, d takes e4, queen d3, rook e1, queen c2, rook b1. I think I can get away with it, so let's go knight d2. Okay, we got pawn takes pawn. So now is the big moment. Do I take with the pawn? Do I gambit a pawn when knight takes e4, which might be okay. I don't see a reason why this is losing. There might be a knight b4 here. I don't see... I don't know. To me, this doesn't look dead lost, but I could be just missing something. So I'm going to take and trust my instinct here. We get queen d3. I could trade the queens and go king g2 here. Definitely a possibility. I could also just play rook to e1 as well. If I go rook e1, takes. Bishop e5 should be okay. Let's go rook e1. Queen c2. Let's go rook to b1. I still have rook c1 here to hit the queen. Okay, we get queen d3. So this, clearly the bot tried to trick me a little bit. It went queen c2 and then it went back to d3. I think what the bot was thinking was that maybe I would make a blunder. I would lose the game. I did not blunder. So now I think if I go king g2, I should be happy with this position. Yeah, let's go here. My idea now is to trade the queens potentially and just play rook e2. I think at this point I should be pretty happy with my position. I see no reason to be worried, at least. Although, wait, there is knight d7, knight b6. I just realized. I made a slight mistake. There's a knight d7 idea, maybe, to bring the knight to b6. Of course, the bot sees it. Annoying. I guess I can go knight e1, rook d6, c4. Takes, knight d4, bishop d6. Okay, I'm going to play knight e1 to hit the rook. It's going to go rook d6. And now I have two options. One option here is to play a4. The other option is to play c4. If the knight gets to b6, there's a lot of grippage here on these two light squares very specifically. So I need to break it up here one way or the other. The only question is, which one do I push? Now, if I go a4 takes b5, knight a7, if bishop a3, rook d2, bishop a3, rook d7. That's good. I know I went through that very fast. If a4, ab4, ab5, that should be okay. bc3 takes, a4 takes, knight d4, takes, knight d3. That's probably good enough to draw. If I go c4, takes, knight d4. Actually, I think a4 is correct. So if I go c4, takes, knight d4, takes, I'm worried. Again, I'm worried, but on the other hand, okay, both these moves look fine. So I almost feel like I should flip a coin. My gut instinct is to play a4. So I think I'm going to trust my gut instinct and play a4. We get takes, I take, we get takes. If I take here, black takes, I take, and then black queens, and I lose material, so I have to take. We'll get knight d4, of course. I will take back. Takes, knight d3, or knight c4, also a move. Okay, we get rook d4. Now, I should be happy in this endgame because black has double pawns on top of each other. In no world here should I really be in danger of losing this. But of course, the bot is very strong, so anything can happen. If I go knight f3, there is rook a4, rook c1, bishop d6, knight c4. Good enough to draw. Is there any way to play for more is the question. I don't really see a way to play for more, so I think I am going to go knight to f3. We get rook b4. I expected rook a4. Let's trade. Let's go knight c4. Hit this pawn on e5 here. I guess there is just rook b8, which should equalize here for black. If I play rook b2, rook b5, there's nothing. I guess I have to trade. Now, the only question here is whether there's a way for me to play for more. I have better knight than black's bishop, but probably not. If I go knight c6, bishop c5, rook b2 is good enough to draw for sure. Maybe it should be good enough to draw. I wouldn't say it is, but I'm kind of worried if I move this knight, somehow the bot is going to trick me and beat me. If I go knight c6, bishop c5, rook here, bishop. Okay, let's try to play for more. I mean, I know I could draw this with rook b2 100%, but let's go for more. Let's play knight c6, hit the bishop. Okay, rook b6, that's probably a very good move. Now, if I trade, it'll be a draw. If I go rook c2, I guard this knight. I think I should play e5 to hit the bishop. I feel like I'm better here. The only question is, am I a little bit better or much better? Okay, let's go f4, reinforce the chain. I've got knight d4, knight d8 ideas. Okay, king f7. That's actually probably a very good move. Go knight d8, king e8. If I go king f3, black's just going to walk the king over. Probably at this point, I have nothing better than to make a draw with like knight a5, knight c4. It's not really what I wanted to do, but I think it's probably the best try here. Let's go here, blockade the pawn, try to bring the rook around. Okay, now the good thing here is this bishop is very passive. It's walled in. The downside here is that I can't really do a whole lot. Maybe I can play h4 to stop g5 or something. I think I'll just go king f3 to start. Try to bring this king over. Oh, black is rook b3, which I missed. Okay, let's go h4, try to stop g5. Now, knight d6 is a draw. The only question here is whether I have a way to play for more. I'm trying to look for some way to play for a win here, but honestly, h5, g6 takes... Wait, h5, g6, maybe knight d6 is an idea. Takes, rook d3, takes, check, king f6, rook h7. Maybe that's an idea. So let's see. If I go h5, h5, probably g5. Takes, that's just a draw. h5, g5. If I take knight d6, that could be... I think I'm going to go for it. Let's go h5. I should never really be in danger of losing here is my assumption. If I am, then so be it. But g6. So knight d6, takes, gh5, rook c5, rook d3, takes, king g6. That's just a draw. Okay, if I go like knight d2, not really working. G4 shouldn't be right. G4 takes could be playable. I don't really like it though. So if I don't like G4 here, I really don't want to force a draw with knight d6. Rook a2. There's just GH5. I think this is just a draw, so I'm just going to play check. We'll get the trade here. This is going to be a draw. It'll take. I'll take. Rook d2, just king e8. Yeah, rook d3. Of course, I take. King g6, and it's just a draw. So I'll go g4, f5, force a draw immediately. We'll move on to the next game. I have a feeling that I should have had a chance to maybe win this game. So maybe I'll take a very brief look afterwards. Let's go here, just trade the rooks. Let's go here. I hope it doesn't play 50 moves. Yeah, it doesn't play 50 moves. So let's go here. Let's take. Okay, and we make the draw. So I guess we'll take a very brief look at this. Let's take a look. If we go back, if we check the game review, I guess I don't have the eval bar showing, so give me 1 second, you guys. 1 second. Let me adjust this just a bit, just so you guys can see this. Okay, let's take a brief look at this. Let's take a brief look. Okay, so what exactly was going on in this game? Let's take a look. So okay, go forward. Somewhere around here. I was much better. Okay, so I was much better around here. What did I do wrong? A4 was wrong. C4 was the best move apparently, so my instinct was wrong. I went A4. I thought C4 was better, and now yeah, and there's no chance to be much better. So it's a very brief moment here. Somewhere right around here I was better. Yeah, if I had gone C4, apparently it's 0.7, 0.8. I trusted my instinct and I played A4, which was wrong, but c'est la vie. All right, so let's go back. Let's do it again. Let's run it back. We'll play against Magnus Bot. Let's play with the black piece this time, and away we go. So we get E4. I'm going to play E5 myself. This bot feels strong, but it doesn't feel out of this world strong. So I'm going to try to play standard openings as always, avoid the hippos, everything else. Let's take. Okay, now what's really funny about this, if it plays the true scotch, is that Magnus and I actually had this position in the World Blitz Championship all the way back in 2014, over a decade ago in Doha, Qatar. We drew the game. I played the move bishop c5 against the bot. I'm going to play knight f6, I think, but I played bishop c5 against Magnus in that game. We get the trade, probably e5 here. That's what I expect. So this is what's known as the classic Mies's variation of the scotch. Let's go here. Okay, let's go bishop a6, pin the pawn so white can't take the juicer. Get knight d2. Okay, now many moves here. I'm going to go for g6. This is one of many options in the position. We get queen e4. I do believe f5 is a move here. I don't know if the bot's trying to go into an endgame or what exactly, but I think I'm going to play f5. We're going to reach an endgame. The bot will trade the queens. I'll take back. This is very, very solid. Of course, this is very much in Magnus's true style anyway. He likes to play a lot of endgames, so pretty normal. I can castle both ways here. My gut is to castle queenside just because I think I really want to play in the center quickly. Like I want the rooks on these two squares, these two open files. So I think I'm going to castle and play rook e8, and I'm going to play d5. We got bishop e3. I thought maybe I could play knight g4 here with bishop b4. I either have to do something very quickly or else I'm probably going to end up worse. Okay, so knight g4, bishop a7, bishop b4, king d1. c5 looks very exciting potentially, but this is also very, very concrete. If I go bishop b4, what's the bot going to play is the question. So I go bishop b4, king d1. I probably have d5, bishop b4, bishop d2, rook e. I mean, this looks bishop, there's c5 though. c5, I trade d4, bishop g5. Aha. So let's think about this. Okay, so if I play the move d5 here, the bot goes c5. I trade the bishops. That feels okay, but also feels dangerous at the same time. Huh. Okay, much like before, I kind of have to make a gut decision on what I trust in. I like bishop b4, but I'm very worried that their bishop b4 white's going to push the pawns and trap this bishop on the square where there are no retreats. So even though I want to go to b4, it feels a little bit wrong. Knight g4 feels more correct for the situation, but I'm also not convinced because the bishop takes a7, rook e8. If white plays bishop e2, knight e5. I mean, it's very, very hard to judge this position. Now, if this were a classical game and I have all the time in the world, very easy. But I don't. Am I going to trust my instinct here and be wrong or be right is the question. To be or not to be? I feel like knight g4 is correct. It just feels right. But rook e8, castles, queenside. It feels correct, but on the other hand, I don't know what to make of this. Okay, I'm gonna trust my instinct. Let's just go for it. Oh, it doesn't take. I thought it would take the pawn. Okay, so that actually is great validation for my overall view about the position, because I was sure that it would grab the juicer. So okay, let's play rook to e8 here. Bishop f6 also was a move, by the way, which was worth considering, perhaps. Maybe I should have played bishop f6 right away. Maybe. Okay, so white castles. So if I play d6 here, white goes h3. Yeah, I think bishop f6 was a much better move. Takes and rook e8. Yeah, I should have played bishop f6. That was a much better move here. But all right, whatever. I still shouldn't be that bad. I also maybe no c5. Takes d6, bishop a7, c5 is interesting, very interesting, perhaps. So wait, if I play c5, bishop c5 takes knight f2 is good. If we get knight c5, bishop c5, bishop c5, d6, bishop d4, c5 should be easy. C5, there's h3, I guess. Actually, c5 takes d6, h3. Yeah, white's come knight e5. Still a game, but I don't love it. d6 is a move. Bishop f6. I don't really like bishop f6, but I think I'm going to play it anyway. I really do think I misplayed this a little bit. Oh, did I just blunder? Oh, I blundered this one. What am I doing? Okay, so I go king b7, bishop c5, d6, h3. That's no good. If I go d6 here, maybe. Yeah, I've totally bungled this. Let's go d6. Oh, g3. That's not the move I expected at all. I guess it's because the bot wants bishop h3 to pin the knight. That's actually very tricky move from the bot. Also, because if I check, there's f4 here. So if I go knight to e5. Oh, knight e5, there's knight a5 maybe. Aha. Oh, the bot found a really nice idea. That's a really nice idea, I think. If I go king b7, what's the point? Actually, wait, king b7... Bishop h... Wait. Maybe I'm missing something very obvious, but this looks okay. Oh, h3. So I guess I have to take. It's going to be take on g4. Yeah, this is kind of ugly. If I go knight e5, there's bishop d4. I don't have a check either. If I check, there's just f4. So I think I have to take. But this is pretty ugly. If I go here, there's knight c5. I guess I'll just go here. I feel like there's going to be something bad happening with forks every which way, but maybe if I get lucky, I can find a way to survive. I doubt it, but let's see. Okay, if I go g5, g5, bishop d3 doesn't look very attractive. c5 doesn't look good. c5 white just takes. I think I have to stop g5, though. If I don't stop g5, I just resign. So we get c5. Oh, this is also a very strong move, because now there's this huge threat of knight to a5. This massive threat, and I can't guard because these two squares are covered. That's actually brilliant from the bot. And I probably just lose here unless there's some magical, d5 knight a5. That's losing. Guess I'll go king a6 to stop knight a5. Okay, rook to e1, very standard. Yeah, if I go d5, white gets this blockade. If I play king b5, white just trades. Yeah, I suspect that I was completely fine, and then I just got really sloppy and made a one-move blunder. Okay, if I go maybe I'll just go here. I'm obviously losing this game, but I'll try to survive as long as I can. Get f5, which probably is good for white, but I feel like this gives me a faint glimmer of hope, maybe. Like h5, like g4 or something. Like, I'm sure this is losing, no doubt, with perfect play, but I feel like there's maybe a faint glimmer of hope. Like h5, rook f5. Probably just lost no matter what, but let's go h5. Let's just go for it. White takes, I take back. If rook f1, I have rook e5. Aha. Very nice from the bot. Because now the square is cut, so I can't stop the pawn. If I go g4, probably rook h1, I guess is, I mean, everything's probably winning for white, but all right, let's keep going. Let's try to survive. Maybe it'll blunder. I doubt it, but maybe. Let's go here, bishop to h8, try to stop the pawn. Okay, logical. I can throw in a check. Rook e7 looks simpler, just to try to hit the pawn. Okay, king c2, very reasonable. I guess the main issue here is I don't have a good way to attack anything. I actually don't have, white's going to create a pass pawn. So with the two wide peepos on both sides, I'm just stuck. I'm actually stuck. Like, I don't have a move, so let's go here. It's going to go b3, a4. Can't go up because it's check. I'll play this out. Normally I would just resign here, but I'll play it out just so you guys see it. Let's go here. That's interesting, because this gives me a check at least, I guess. Oh, it can just go king f4. So actually I missed this as well. Doesn't matter. Yeah, this one is just losing. I was fine, but I think my instinct was wrong. Let's take a look at the game review. I suspect if I played the other order, I would have actually drawn this game. I made a big mistake there. If we look at the okay, where is it? Here we go. Yeah, right here. Yes, bishop f6 was the correct move. It was still okay here. Oh wait, c5 was actually good for me. What? I thought bishop h3. Oh wow, bishop b7. Oh, that's actually really annoying. But actually this line is very weird too. It's bishop e4, king b7. Actually, to be honest, I'm not sure I'd find this. Maybe in a classical game I could calculate this, but this line is very, very strange. This is a very, very strange line. It's not crazy to see this, but to see, because I think bishop takes h1. White's actually better here. So yeah, this line with bishop e4, very, very strange, but still that was fun. Okay, so let's go again. Let's play two more games. So I'm going to play one more game with white, one more game with black. Off we go. Now, this time I'm going to play d4. I just played an e4 game. So let's see what the bot does. Okay, so we get the move knight to f6. So I'm going to play bishop g5, the classic Trump-howski here. We get d5. Let's play the move. I'll play the move e3 here. This is the most standard line. We get h6. Interesting option. h6. So after h6, I can play bishop h4, but I think I'm going to trade here. I think it'll take with the e pawn, right? It does. Okay, so let's play knight to d2. I expect c5. I'll take and play c3 here. This is very similar to another game. There's a game between Shimonov and Hans Niemann in the World Rapid, I think it was, where Hans had the structure with this isolated pawn. You'll notice none of the pawns can connect. You'd love this pawn here to guard, but you can't connect. So this pawn can become a big weakness if you're precise. I'm going to try immediately to hit the juicer on d5 very quickly. Get bishop e4. Original move. Maybe not an original idea, but definitely original. Now, I could obviously trade and probably just make a draw, but I really don't want to do that. So if I don't want to do that, the other option is, of course, develop and just castle the king. This looks pretty reasonable. Do I want to go? I don't know. Do I want? I don't know. I really don't know. A4 has merit because it gives me a square. What is the downside? Like if I castle a4 knight d2, yeah, I think I should play a4. Just take away this pawn push, create the square for my knight in the long run with a bastion. Okay, queen b6, very logical. If I play knight d4 here, which knight I guess is a question. Actually, if I go knight d4, there's knight e5 right away. This is the drawback to a4, so that now this knight is a problem. I can't just move my queen because this knight will fall, so there is a drawback. Now, knight d4, knight e5. I don't like that. I could play like rook a2, I guess. I don't really like rook a2, frankly, but I don't really like anything. I'll go rook a2. I'll guard the pawn so that I can move a knight. Get knight e5 here. So if I were to trade everything off, black gets f5. This is kind of ugly, actually. I don't really like my position in this game. Knight f d4, bishop d3, rook e1, bishop c4. That looks ugly. Let's just go here. There's no bishop d3 because I can trade the knights. Okay, so rook e8. I'm tempted to play like knight b5 here, but there's bishop d3. I go rook e1, knight d3, rook e2. That looks kind of okay. Knight d3, rook e2. Okay, it goes back. So this is similar to the first game where the bot tries to trick me and then it just goes back to a standard plan. Knight d2, bishop d3 I don't love. Knight e5, black just take. Actually, knight e5 and knight b5 is not crazy here. Knight e5 takes, knight b5 takes, queen c6, king here, bishop c5, rook d2. It's decent. It's not really what I want to play though. But I also don't have many moves. If I go rook d2, there's just knight c4. I guess I'll do it though. Try to move my knight. Knight c4, I just go back. I guess knight e5 would be a threefold. Okay, so the bot's happy to make another draw. Okay, this is annoying because I really don't want to make a draw like it's classical chess. But on the other hand, what am I supposed to do? Like if I trade and go knight b5, takes, queen c6, king g1, f5, rook d2. I mean, that's probably okay for me, but I can only be worse in those positions. So I don't want to make a draw, but if I don't make the draw, I don't actually know what I'm supposed to do. I don't feel it, so I'm gonna play rook d2. I'll just make the draw. Yeah, I mean, I just don't see it. Okay, so it plays rook c8. Okay, so it comes up with a different plan. So this is nice. Now we get to play again. So I will I have knight d2 here. Knight d2, bishop d3, I guess. Also knight d2. No, knight d2, bishop d3. Rook e1, knight b2. That's just losing. What I really need is I need to find a way to get this bishop off the board if I can. Like maybe knight e1, knight d3. But again, it's very, very hard to play. Like knight b5 is I think knight b5 has to be the correct move. I have to justify this pawn on a4. And now I go knight d4. Now I've got these knights in the middle of the board. Okay, let's go here. Maybe I should have played b3. Maybe. Okay, we get rook e8. So if I play b3 here, there's no square. On the other hand, my rooks are kind of jumbled here a little bit. b3 looks... I mean, b3 looks reasonable. It supports the pawn. Everything's guarded here. We get queen d8. Okay, so I can't take... f4 maybe is a move. Maybe f4 is a move. I don't know. It looks possible, but I don't love it. If I go rook e2, bishop d3, rook d2. That should be okay. If I go rook e2, bishop d4, e4, and there is knight f3, though. So I think what I'm going to do now is this rook is the one very, very bad piece I have. So I have to find a way to improve this rook if possible. The knights are basically on the optimal squares. Bishop's good. Don't really want to push any pawns. Is there actually... Wait, is there knight e6? Oh, wait, knight e6? Takes bishop e4. Is black going to sack a queen? Is the bot trying to trick me here? Knight e6 is definitely a move. Knight e6, f e6, bishop e4, f d4 takes. Let's assume rook e d8. Queen b1, rook d3. I think the bot's trying to cheese me with queen d8. I think the bot is trying to induce this knight e6 move. But let me think about this for one more second. Knight e6, f e6, bishop e4, f e4, rook d8, rook e d8. Knight d4, knight f3, king g2, e5, b4, ed4, queen b3, king h8 takes d3. That's losing. Yes, the bot is trying to bait me. The bot's trying to bait me into knight to e6. It would make this video really cool that the bot sacks the Magnusbot sacks the queen and beats me, but I don't think I want to do that. I mean, the content matters, but I want to try and play a good game, so I will not do that. Instead, what I will play here is ... I think I'm gonna play... It's actually very tricky. I'm gonna go queen to e2, and now I'm gonna play rook to a1. My idea is just to bring my rook around to the king side. Okay, let's bring the rook to d1. Here we go. Double stack in the center of the board. Okay, I've gotten the optimal setup. I can't really get a better setup. My knights are perfect. My rooks are stacked. My queen's good. Bishop, king. Every piece here is good for me. So now if there's anything, this is the moment where I have to prove it. I don't really see it, unfortunately. So I'm just going to go h3. Probably king h2 here. Okay, let's go here. Okay, so now the bot is repeating. So the big question is, can I ever play f4? But if I ever go f4, there's knight c6 and this pawn is weak. I don't really like it. On the other hand, what else do I do here? I can't really push my pawns, too much weakness. f4, f3, f4, the only two moves that I kind of see that make any sense here. But they both don't make a lot of sense, so... Ugh. Like, can I go rook to e1 maybe? Rook e1, bishop d4, rook d4. Try f3. I don't like it. I'm going to play rook e1. I'm going to try to get a little bit cheeky here. Okay, it goes king h7. I feel like there should be some way to improve this position still. Like, I don't know, like queen f1 takes, ed4, knight f3 takes. Rook d3. Not enough. Not enough. I go f4, knight c6. f4, knight c6. I don't see anything concrete. f3 is, of course, the other option, like f3, bishop g6, queen f1 maybe, but then knight c6 anyway. Problem is, any square I push the pawn, this pawn becomes a huge target on e3 to the rook. I think I'm just going to make a draw here. Okay, let's think. Is there any other way to improve? Maybe I can put the queen on d1 here. Okay, now it sees it, because I was hoping that I could get f3. I was hoping it would move the king and I could go f3, f4, f5 and trap the bishop, but it doesn't blunder that. It plays knight c6 instead, which of course is a very good move. If I take, I assume it will take with the pawn. I don't want to do that. Queen d1 is probably fine as well. Okay, let's go queen d1. Get knight e5 back. Okay. But wait, now do I have no, but now if I go f3, back, f4, knight c6, then bishop... Spot is too tricky. It's too tricky. f4, knight c6, I just don't have a... Yeah, I don't have anything concrete. I think I have to make a draw. We'll see after the game. Maybe there's some way that I'm much better here, and I'm just being paranoid because it's a bot, and actually weakening the center is okay, but I don't really see it. So if I don't see it, yeah, I think I'm just going to take the draw. Okay, let's take a look again. Let's take a look at this one. Let's see. Like, I thought I was better. I am actually better, but how? King f1. Okay, very, very weird. But now it says h3. Okay, so this. Okay, if I go G... What's it saying? Okay, it's saying go g4. Okay, g4 maybe is good, but this is pretty hard to play as a human. But I am curious. It's because if rook e7, there's knight f5, and if black just waits, there's knight f5 anyway. And then knight g3. King f1. Anytime I start seeing these moves like king f1 or the previous game was like, you know, this long line with bishop e4 check, I'll never really be that unhappy. So it is better for white. But really, it's only better with g4 at the right moment. Yeah, g4 is the only way to prove an advantage here. I'm not going to be too unhappy. So, all right, let's go again. We're going to do one more game with black. That's 2 draws with white, one loss with black. Let's play the same opening. I have had my chances, though. I have actually been better in every single game, to be fair. Let's play a Berlin. Okay, let's take. I assume it'll play d4. That long line, though, in the Scotch was very, very weird. Okay, let's go for this line. One of many lines here. Let's play this h5. Let's play b6. This is one of the very, very old lines. Everybody and their brother has played this line a bazillion times. Now, many ways to play this. I'm going to go for the c5 line. Magnus actually had this in one of his world championship matches so many years ago. Okay, let's try to remember the correct move. Try to remember. Okay, plays knight c3. Knight c3. What am I doing here? Wait, the correct move is bishop a6. Why did I play c5? Actually, why did I go c5? I might just be much worse here. Uh-oh. Wait a second. If I play a6, knight d5, I'm just losing. So Actually, I completely misplayed this. I confused my lines. The correct move was bishop a6. Yeah, the correct move was bishop a6. What am I doing? Okay, so let's focus. Let's see if there's some way to dig out of a hole. This shouldn't just be lost, is my assumption. It could be, but I don't think it should just be lost. So let's go for bishop d7 here. Try to do something. Let's go rook c8. Okay, bishop g5. Very reasonable. Okay, now if I move the bishop, there's takes and rook d8 checkmate, so that would just be losing. If I play knight e7, this is just a very ugly position to have, if I'm being honest. Let's go knight e7 and try to pray, I guess. We got c4. That's what I expected. Maybe I should have played bishop e7. I don't know. Maybe that was a better try. If I go knight g6, rook d2, I'm not in time. If I go c6 here, knight f4, that's pretty bad too. I wonder if I can trade and play bishop e7 and just pretend it's an endgame. I probably can, but can I survive that is the question. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, so okay, let's think. What to do here? Now, if I were to take and play c6, d6, bishop e6, that looks so bad. But yeah, I don't think I can hold that. Because c6 takes. Actually, c6 knight f4 is a problem. It's not any trade on e7. If I go knight g6, rook d2, c6, rook a d1, cd5, rook d5, f6. That's kind of back in business. So go knight g6, rook d2, c6, knight c3, bishop e7, rook a d1, bishop e6. No, this is actually just terrible. I also can't castle. It's the other important thing not to be forgotten, is that castling is never an option here. So therefore, I think I'm actually just lost. I think I'm actually just lost. Unless I'm missing something very obvious. Yeah, I think I'm actually just completely lost here. I don't know what I'm supposed to play. Takes, bishop e7, bishop f4, like f6, e6, bishop b5 or something, but this just looks so bad. And try takes bishop. I'm gonna try to survive this. I probably can't, but I'll try it anyway. Or is this just lost? This might just be lost as well. Wait, so if I take, if I go bishop c6 here, there's just knight e5 or something, or wait. Takes, rook h6, rook e1. Actually, that's just lost. And if I play bishop... Oh, I don't even have squares, actually. I don't even have squares here, I just realized. Because white can just kick the bishop. There's a4 and b3 no matter where I go. Oh, so this might just be dead lost. So if I go... I guess I have to go here and pray. I'm sure this is losing, but I have to do this. Of course, the bot's not going to miss. No, I've got no other squares. I must take... I must play this. I must play this. Knight a7, I guess. Rook e2 is interesting, though, because this does give me a faint glimmer of hope. Not a real glimmer, but a faint glimmer. If I go a5... Let's go here, I guess. I'm sure this is losing. Ha, it doesn't even take the bishop. Actually, if it takes, there would be rook d8, to be fair. So I go like rook here, maybe. G3, of course, excellent move. I guess I'll go like... I mean, I'm obviously just dead lost. The only question is there some way to trick it? Like rook a8 and b5 or something? Maybe a4. If I go rook a8, king g2, b5, knight d4, rook d8, rook e5. Surely that's losing, but I also don't... really have a choice, so let's go for it. Oh, there's also a4. Yeah. Oh, it doesn't do it. Okay. So b5 90. I mean, okay, I have to do this. Like, there's no choice. What is the bot doing here? The bot's confusing me a little bit. If I go here, there's rook e5. And I'm sure this is losing, but this doesn't feel like the best way to have played this endgame, in my opinion. So we go rook d6, rook b5, takes d3, rook h5. If I take. Maybe I should have played g6 first to guard a pawn. I think actually here, probably I should have played I mean, it's still actually still losing. White just takes, but okay. So if I take rook b5, I'm just thinking if there's any way to survive this. Takes. No, but d3, white just takes all the pawns. If I take, trying to find some way to push the p here. h5. d3, king f1. Yeah, there's no way to save this, I don't think. But and if I take and play d3, nah, there's really no way to save this. But I'll just play this position. Let's go a4, rook h5, takes, rook d6 maybe is one way to try, but I'm not really believing that. What am I down here? 1 2 3 4 5. I'm not actually down material here though. So if I'm not down material, maybe there's a chance. Okay, so a4 maybe. Let's go a4. Takes. Some chances to maybe save this now. I'm still losing, I'm sure, but let's go g6. Let's go here. Okay, weird. This should be a draw, actually. Wait, what? Wait, the bot lost its mind. I mean, this should be a theoretical draw. This is the Magnus Bot, of course. The Magnus Bot being so great at endgames, I would find it pretty funny, but it could always trick me. So, okay, let's go check. Let's go here. Let's go here. Cut the king off. Very, very weird by the bot. It was completely cooking me, and then it just lost its mind for like 1 or 2 moves. Okay, so this game's gonna go for quite a while. It's probably okay. Well, or it can play this, which this is just a very easy draw. I just wait forever. So this bot, like a lot of the strong bots, it plays more or less perfect. But like if you hang on just long enough, sometimes it will make a big mistake. I guess I'll go here, maybe g5. I want to play g5 or not is a question. On the one hand, I do, but if I go g5, my king's still cut off. I just need to make sure this is actually a draw. I think no. I think I'm just gonna go. Okay, let's think about it. So g5, king e3, rook e5. No, I think I'm just gonna go. Let's go here. I guess I'll just go like. I don't know, like rook here maybe. Let's go here. Let's go back. Oh, I could have played g5 takes, king g8, king h5, king h5, rook a6, g6, rook a. That's this. As far as I know, this is a theoretical draw. As far as I know. As long as you don't end up with the rook on the back rank defense, which I'll explain in a second, this is just a draw. Okay, so we saved the draw out of nowhere. This game, unlike the others, though, I never had a chance. I was never better at any point during this game. So let's just go back. Okay, rook f5. So now the move here would be rook to b1 to go to check the king from behind. Let's go here. Okay, important that I just play like... It actually doesn't matter. I could just check. Yeah, I think I'll just check and go like back to a1. Anytime the king moves forward, there's always going to be a check on one of these two squares. So I think I'll just go, I don't know, rook g1. I don't even know if it's the best move, but point is I always have access no matter which way the king goes. So let's go back. I just wait forever. Whenever the king moves up, there always will be a check on either of these squares. So that's why I just keep waiting forever. Okay, now I check. Let's go here. Let's go here, go back. At some point it'll play g7. Now I bring my rook around so I can check from this side. Let's go check. There is going to be one last trick here. Very important not to blunder, which is when the bot plays g5 to not play rook g6, which I'll explain when we open the game review. But there's a trick that I've seen people blunder many times in Title Tuesday where you put the rook on g6 and you blunder this rook c8 move. I'll show the analysis in a second, but you have to make sure you avoid that. So now I just wait forever. At some point it's going to play g6, I assume, but let's keep going. Actually, I could also just go king h7 here, right? Yeah, I could just go here. Let's go here. Go back. When the king moves up, I sack the rook. Let's take this one. Let's go here. Now I go rook c8. I didn't actually intend to draw with this method, but this is also a draw. And I'll explain. Actually, this is great that I played this defensive line at the end because I didn't need to do this. But I'll be able to show you guys why with two pawns this defense does not work. So we just keep waiting. This is a theoretical draw. I don't think it's going to hang it's not going to hang a rook or something trying to cheese me, so I can pretty much just relax here, just make all the pre-moves. Probably it'll play g7 here. Nope, no g7 yet. Okay. Last pawn push or last capture was 93. So we're almost there. We're 30 moves in. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's go here. Just keep waiting. What happened? Did the bot just freeze? Huh? Maybe I just broke the bot. Maybe the bot just froze. If I refresh, it's probably going to reset. I don't think it's going to play the game, but I don't know, actually. Why is it not moving? Okay, if the bot resets, you guys, I'm obviously not making edits to this video, then we'll just assume it's a draw. I think maybe it'll work. Let's pray, fingers crossed. Oh no. Okay, here we go. Okay, so it keeps going, so we'll finish it. It just got a little bit glitched there, so... Nonetheless, this game will end a draw. So we're gonna have 3 draws and 1 loss, which is pretty decent. I mean, the one game that I lost, I had that one chance to be better. I was better in the first 3 games. This game I was worse the whole way, but the first 3 games I had a chance to be better and maybe win. So pretty decent against this Magnus New Year's bot, all things considered. We're 187, so still like a lot of moves to go. Let's go here. Still like 30-ish moves. Okay, there we go. And now I play... Oh, if I go here, there's rook f6. Let's go here, try and force stalemate. It's going to play rook f6, right? And let's go here. There we go. Now we go here. There we go. We take and okay, saved ourselves a few moves. So this game ends in a draw. Now there are a couple important things about this game. I did not mean to do that. Game review. There we go. I don't know why I did analysis. So a couple of important things about this game as we go through it. Bishop d7 was a blunder, of course. But this whole thing was wrong, right? It was bishop b7 first and then c5. Anyway, all right, so we get to the game right around here. Like, yeah, I made 2 very bad moves in a row, right? Yeah, rook takes h5 is winning. Oh, h4, and apparently black's not actually much worse. Wow. This goes to show just how good computers are and how many resources exist in the game of chess. So I play h4. White's actually not much better here. Wow. Okay, so I took, takes, it's a mistake, g6. It's still bad. This was definitely a mistake, right? b4 still apparently very strong. And then we get into this long endgame. And the important thing I want to point out here is that in this position, if you try to play this back rank setup, it's worth noting here that with 2 pawns, this back rank setup doesn't work, because after king to h6, white will eventually be winning here, because what white does is white will basically push everything up the board, and then white will go g7, and then white goes rook to f6 here. And after rook 8, white can play rook f8, takes, king h7. Pawn pushes through, white wins the game. This is only possible because in this position, white has a second pawn on g5. So if white has 2 pawns here, you cannot actually do this back rank setup like I did later in the game. But with 1 pawn, you can. With 2 pawns, you cannot do this. So that was the first point. There was this other very funny tactic you'll see a lot of, which is that I've seen this in Title 2. So I think I saw Alexander Bortnik lose here. Let's go forward. Where we reach this moment where Bortnik, I think, played this move rook to g6, trying to be really cute, because if white takes, it's of course stalemate. King has no squares, but there's rook to c8. Then when you take, there's rook g8, and suddenly white again gets through. Either way, you go to h8, same thing. Pawn pushes straight through. King controls the squares. GG, why not? So that's the second point. And then the last point, of course, is that I played king h7, probably not necessary, but with only 1 pawn on the board, if it's the edge pawn or the second rank, one of these 2 files, very specifically, one of these 2 files with an extra pawn, this back rank defense will always be a draw with the king in front of the pawn and just shuffling your rook. If white has 2 pawns, like we just saw, white is winning. 2 pawns on the edge doesn't matter, but with 2 pawns on the g file, white is actually winning. So this back rank defense only works if there are pawns on this h file. It doesn't matter how many actually on the h file, it's a draw. Shouldn't highlight the back row. If there doesn't matter how many pawns on this h file, it's a draw. And if it's 1 pawn, this back rank defense works here. So basically, the way to remember this is these 2 files. If it's 1 pawn, it's a draw. If it's 2 pawns, you have to go for this active defense like I did earlier in the game. And the rest, of course, was very straightforward. So we get 3 draws, 1 loss. Pretty happy overall with the result. I tried to play relatively main openings, had better position in 3 of the 4 games, so I can't complain. But that is going to do it for our latest edition of Playing Against the Bots on chess.com. This Magnus Bot, very, very strong. I would say it actually, if I'm being honest, I think is a little bit weaker than Magnus himself, which is kind of funny to say since it's based off him, and usually bots are stronger. But I think this might be a slightly weaker version of what we'd see from Magnus himself, which maybe is why I did so well against it, if we're being honest. But at any rate, I had a fun time playing against this Magnus 2026 New Year's bot. Hope you guys will have fun playing against it. Of course, make sure to try out the bot. Leave your comments below and all your thoughts about what the actual elo should be. But that's going to do it for right now with our latest edition of Playing with Bots. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video as we run it back or run it forward into 2026. If you are not subscribed to the channel already, make sure that you smash that subscribe button below, and we'll be back with more great content very, very soon. And to everybody out there, have a happy new year. See you guys in 2026. Bye.